and the strong and solid and human and civilization role has shaped a strong foundation for the development process that included all parts of the Sultanate to reach its achievements, every family and every citizen wherever they are in this good land. It shaped the foundations for the state of institutions and law whose completion and empowerment shall be the milestones of the next stage in which our country will march with confidence towards a prestigious status that we all aspire to.
His Majesty said we will preserve our national interests as they are the most important constants of the next phase set by Oman Vision 2040, adding that ensuring the success of the vision is our responsibility all, children of this country without exception, each one in his position and within the limits of his capabilities and responsibilities. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq ensured the government support it needs to achieve the vision, saying within the framework of supporting the government to fulfill the requirements of the vision, we have worked on developing the state administrative apparatus and restructuring the cabinet, and we tasked it with the responsibility to implement development plans and capacities as per the jurisdiction entrusted to each institution and in a manner that promotes the government performance and alleviates incapabilities. His Majesty showed consideration and strong belief in the role of the community, saying, "We have laid the foundation for local administration by establishing a decentralized administrative structure for service and development performance in the governorates, and we will monitor on."
Due to COVID-19 pandemic, drop in oil prices are a vital part of this interconnected world. We have paid special attention at the regional and international levels to understand the effects of these conditions on all sectors, and we affirm our continued support for these sectors, especially health and education at all levels. The response you gave in light of the financial circumstances was and is still appreciated by us, stressing that the purpose of these measures is to achieve the financial sustainability of the state and prepare for the implementation of many development plans. His Majesty added, during the next 5 years, the economy will witness development and recovery that meets the needs of the state and citizens. The response that you showed to the government's decision is appreciated by us despite the challenges facing our economy. We assert that the fiscal balance plan will contribute to bringing the country to safe land. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq receives more cables of greetings on the occasion of 50th National Day of the Renaissance, the 18th of November, from a number of their Majesties, Excellencies and leaders of the brotherly and friendly countries.
His Majesty the Sultan exchanged cables of greetings with the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud of the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, His Highness Sheikh Khalifa bin Zayed Al Nahyan, President of the United Arab Emirates, His Majesty King Hamad bin Isa Al Khalifa of the Kingdom of Bahrain, His Highness Sheikh Tamim bin Hamad Al Thani, Emir of the State of Qatar, His Highness Sheikh Nawaf Al Ahmad Al Jaber Al Subah, Emir of the State of Kuwait, His Majesty King Mohammed VI of Morocco, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Al Burhan, Head of the Sovereign Council of Sudan, His Excellency President Abdel Fattah Al Sisi of Egypt, His Excellency President Abdul Rabah Mansour Hari of Yemen, His Majesty Sultan Haji Hassan Al Bolkiah of Brunei Darussalam, His Majesty Sultan Abdullah ibn Sultan Ahmad Shah, King of Malaysia, His Excellency President Dr. Muhammad Ashraf Ghani of Afghanistan, His Excellency Joko Widodo of Indonesia, His Excellency Dr. Arif Alavi of Pakistan, His Excellency President Recep Tayyip Erdogan of Turkey, His Excellency President Qasim Jomart Tokayev of Kazakhstan. His Majesty King Felipe VI of Spain. Her Majesty Queen Elizabeth of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, and Head of the Commonwealth. His Majesty King Felipe of Belgium. His Majesty King Maha Vajiralongkorn of Thailand. His Majesty King Carl XVI Gustav of Sweden. His Majesty King William Alexander of the Netherlands. His Majesty Emperor Naruhito of Japan.
His Excellency Governor-General David Harley of Australia. His Excellency President Vladimir Zelensky of Ukraine. His Excellency President Sergio Mattarella of Italy. Her Excellency President Sahla Warak Zodi of Ethiopia. His Excellency President Dr. Frank-Walter Steinmeier of Germany. His Excellency President Donald Trump of the United States of America. His Excellency President Patrice Talon of Benin. His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa of South Africa. His Excellency President Vladimir Putin of Russia. His Excellency President Klaus Iohannis of Romania. His Excellency President Gotabaya Rajapakse of Sri Lanka. Her Excellency President Halima Yaqub of Singapore. Her Excellency President Simonita Samoroga of Swiss Confederation. His Excellency President Xi Jinping of China. His Excellency President Rodrigo Duterte of the Philippines. His Excellency President Dr. Nguyen Pho Trong of Vietnam. His Excellency President Zoran Elanovic of Croatia. His Excellency Governor-General Jolie Bayet of Canada. His Excellency President Miguel Diaz-Canel of Cuba. His Excellency President Moon Jae-in of Korea. His Excellency President Kim Jong-un of Korea. His Excellency President Dr. Yunus Aider of Hungary. His Excellency President Daniel Ortega of Nicaragua. And His Excellency President Ramath Kovind of India.
His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President, Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates and the ruler of Dubai. His Highness Sheikh Dr. Sultan bin Mohammed Al Qasimi, Member of the Supreme Council of the United Arab Emirates, ruler of Sharjah. His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Rashid Al Nu'mani, Member of the Supreme Council of the United Arab Emirates, ruler of Ajman. His Highness Sheikh Saud bin Rashid Al Mualla, Member of the Supreme Council of the United Arab Emirates, ruler of Al Qaywan. His Royal Highness Prince Mohammed bin Salman bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Crown Prince, Deputy Prime Minister, Minister of Defense of Saudi Arabia. His Royal Highness Prince Salman bin Hamad Al Khalifa, Crown Prince, Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Bahrain. His Highness Sheikh Mish'al Al Ahmad Al Jaber Al Sabah, Crown Prince of Kuwait. His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Hamad Al Thani, Deputy Emir of Qatar. His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Nahyan, Crown Prince of Abu Dhabi and Deputy Commander of the Armed Forces in the United Arab Emirates. His Highness Sheikh Sultan bin Mohammed bin Sultan Al Qasimi, Crown Prince and Deputy Ruler of Sharjah. His Highness Sheikh Ammar bin Ahmed Al Nu'mani, Crown Prince of Ajman. His Highness Sheikh Rashid bin Saud bin Rashid Al Mualla, Crown Prince of Al Qaywan. His Highness Sheikh Abdullah bin Salim bin Sultan Al Qasimi, Deputy Ruler of Sharjah. His Highness Sheikh Nasser bin Rashid Al Nu'mani, Deputy Ruler of Ajman. His Excellency Sheikh Khalid bin Khalifa bin Abdulaziz Al Thani, Prime Minister and Minister of Interior of Qatar. His Excellency Mustafa Al-Qadhimi, Prime Minister of Iraq. His Excellency Muhyiddin Yassin, Prime Minister of Malaysia. His Excellency Prayut Chan-o-cha, Prime Minister of Thailand. His Excellency Viktor Orban, Prime Minister of Hungary. His Excellency Narendra Modi, Prime Minister of India. His Excellency Dr. Hussein Moini, President of Zanzibar. His Excellency Dr. Naif Falah Al-Hajraf, Secretary of the Gulf Cooperation Council countries.
His Majesty also received cables of greetings on this glorious occasion from their Highnesses and Excellencies the Ministers, Advisors, Commanders of the Sultan's Armed Forces, Royal Oman Police and other security service, honorable members of State Council, their Excellencies the members of the Shura Council and the Secretaries, honorable judges, Omani ambassadors, heads of diplomatic missions in the Sultanate, representatives of international organizations, sheikhs, dignitaries and citizens. They express their utmost greetings and best wishes to His Majesty of good health, happiness and long life, requesting Almighty Allah to endow Oman with bounties and its loyal people with glory under His Majesty's wise leadership, and to renew this precious occasion and its similar on His Majesty and Oman's as they are achieving hopes and aspirations. His Majesty the Sultan replied them and expressed his sincere thanks and appreciation for their sincere greetings, good wishes and noble feelings. He called on Almighty Allah to preserve them with health and wellness and to restore happy occasions and what they have achieved for them and for their people with development and prosperity.
His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Highness Prince Albert II of Monaco on the occasion of his country's National Day.
The Sultanate celebrates today, the 18th of November, its 50th National Day anniversary.
This year's celebration is impinged by sentiments of sorrow for the loss of the father of the Omani Renaissance, late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said.
With firm resolve, Omani citizens continue to make more achievements under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, who vowed to upgrade the march of nation building and enhance the pace of progress, striking a high note in Omani people's enthusiasm for an ambitious renaissance that covers all spheres of life. Yet this year's celebration is impinged by sentiments of sour sorrow for the loss of the father of the Omani Renaissance, late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said bin Taimur, who sculpted this Arabian edifice from scratch, his vigilant sight not missing a flaw in any side of the monument. The 11th of January 2020 was virtually an unforgettable day in the Omani history. On this day, Omanis depicted a unique national saga of loyalty and devotion, when the Sultanate surprised the whole world with a smooth transition of power. In gratitude and tribute to the late Sultan, the royal family endorsed with unwavering certitude the successor chosen by the late Sultan, given his proven wisdom and farsightedness.
Since the first speech of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq when he took over the throne, he established the foundations of work for the future of Oman, commencing from what has been achieved and starting off from the present towards the horizons of the far future to move Oman to the level of aspirations and hopes.
By moving Oman to the level of aspirations and hopes, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, may God preserve him, addressed the next stage, presenting clear directions based on a package of updates that put Oman on the threshold of an important stage of development and construction. Since the royal speech on the 23rd of last February, which clarified the features of work in the coming period, and the acceleration of development and modernization continues even in the midst of the global corona pandemic and the great effects it has at various levels. The march started from a project to restructure the state's administrative apparatus and a new government in line with the requirements of the next phase, to economic reform supported by broad changes in companies, investment systems and development projects worth hundreds of millions of Omani riyals to enhance economic growth and development movement through the medium-term fiscal balance plan. That was announced recently and includes initiatives and programs that take into account the social protection system. A transforming scene that the Sultanate is experiencing with the trend of strengthening decentralization in the government and empowering the governorates through a system that gives them legal personality and financial and administrative independence. If the challenges have created opportunities for reviewing priorities, the economic reform process will create new outlets for the stability of financial sustainability by giving importance to priority sectors that generate employment opportunities. Establish development capable of facing challenges and keeping pace with changes. From its ancient civilizational experience, Oman is progressing with confidence and security, and continues with its leadership and its people in one row to manufacture the country's present and future according to national constants that enjoy high care that doesn't deviate from it. From the thought of the new reign, the renewed Renaissance took off in loyalty to the late Sultan, inspired by great achievements, taking its gains into the future and preserving it and its values to continue building in the renewed Renaissance.
The Sultan's armed forces has played outstanding roles in defending the homeland and protecting its achievements. It's being accorded great care and support from His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq over the last 50 years of the Blaze Renaissance. All formations of Sultan's armed forces had underwent great developments and modernization thanks to the royal care and wise directives of the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said. May Allah rest his soul in peace.
The development march at the Sultan's armed forces covered all aspects related to training Omani cadres to occupy leading positions in all units of the armed forces and the Ministry of Defense. The armament system kept pace with the latest developments in the field of military work and equipment.
Security is one of the achievements of Omani modern renaissance. Royal Oman Police has carried the mission of establishing all over the last 5 decades. Royal Oman Police had been accorded great care and attention from late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said. May Allah rest his soul in peace since the dawn of the Blaze Renaissance.
ROP is continuing undertaking its national duty under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, the Supreme Commander, to protect the security and stability of the country and provide best police services to citizens and residents. Over the 5 last decades, ROP has built strong relationships based with all segments of the society, based on partnership and cooperation in carrying out 3 national duties and police services.
Stemming from the wise vision of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq that youth is the wealth of nations and their inexhaustible resources, the government has accorded them great care and utilized all capabilities to undertake their role in serving the homeland. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan Al-Rahbi.
The process of building and development that was established by the late His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said, may his soul rest in peace, continues through the prosperous era, marching with a firm foundation and a distinct vision.
On the 23rd of February, His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, may Allah protect him,
outlined Oman's future map in a speech, considering the youth, the wealth of the nation, and its inexhaustible resource. In his speech, His Majesty affirmed that the youth will receive all the attention and support. In Oman's renewable renaissance, the progress is growing steadily, and the youth form its cornerstone. The accomplishments of the youth are not restrained by any geographical location. The Omani youth have proven their potentials and raised the Sultanate's flag in different international occasions and in various fields. In the medical field, Dr. Adhari bint Abdullah Za'abi received the International Brain Research Organization Award among a wide participation from researchers from different countries around the world.
Despite all the hassles that we had during 2020 due to the pandemic of COVID-19, but alhamdulillah, we were blessed by God that we applied for so many awards, and I was honored to get the first to be the first Omani and Arab woman to be involved in the award committee of HUPO as an organization, which is an international organization concerned about proteomic research in human. And the second award is the IBRO award, which I got a few days ago, and it was for our achievement in SIAG initiative, where all of our events and social media account notifications or dissemination is mainly to connect the health of body and health of mind together in order to maintain, as I said, the 2040 vision of Oman, concentrating on health is a responsibility of everyone.
COVID-19 pandemic was a chance to test the capabilities of the Omani youth and an incentive to ignite their creativity. When means of commercial, health, educational, and other services were closed as preventive measures, the youth succeeded to sustain those services through safe electronic platforms.
The majority of our portfolio companies are from youth. Oman Technology Fund, till the end of 2019, invested in 104 companies in different sectors. During COVID-19, we have launched an initiative. We have allocated 1 million Omani Riyal for youth to come and address the challenges and the consequences of COVID-19. We've received too many applications. We've shortened our selection process to 1 week, and we have invested in around 30 to 40 companies pre and post-COVID.
The world is witnessing a rapid technological evolution, and the talented young Omanis are keeping pace with this development. In the field of information technology, Muad Al-Hinai and his colleagues have designed the first ever Omani computer. Indeed, the Omani youth excel in all fields. They turn challenges into opportunities for innovation and creativity. Saleh Bukhalfan Al-Rahbi, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
In order to have financial sustainability, the government of the Sultanate of Oman took many steps, including economic reforms. More details in the following report by Ahmed bin Mahmoud Al-Hinai.
In determination to complete the process of economic reform for the stability of the state's financial sustainability and to make achieving financial balance at the top of the hierarchy of priorities, of which His Majesty the Sultan, may God bless and protect him, emphasized. The road to it will be paved through the medium-term fiscal plan within the next 4 years, with its axes being to support economic growth, diversify sources of income, raise the efficiency of government spending, strengthen the social protection system, and raise the efficiency of the state's financial management. The Central Bank of Oman's clock will ring, marking the end of the fiscal balance plan and the Sultanate's success in raising its credit rating, a goal supported by the great optimism shown about the new financial policies to stop the continuing fiscal deficit. The medium-term fiscal plan will change the path of public debt into a decline and will push government spending to reach 12 billion and 950 Omani riyals in 2024 compared to 8 billion and 600 million Omani riyals in 2020. The plan will stand upon initiatives such as revitalizing the real estate market, taking such measures as reducing fees on real estate transactions from 5 to 3%, and simplifying entry into the Sultanate by exempting citizens of more than 100 countries from visas, applying an income tax to those with high incomes, which is still under study, and reorienting the support of public services. Undoubtedly, the medium-term fiscal plan was written for the sake of all whom are living on the land of Oman, as the social protection system established with the new financial policies to reduce the impact on those with limited income, and work is underway to integrate programs and support these groups in a system that will change the course of their social life and eventually reduce their dependence on it. These trends, in which the Sultanate is racing against time, came in the midst of the economic repercussions of the COVID-19 pandemic, in addition to the effects of low oil prices at a time when work is being done to create conditions that support Oman's Vision 2040 in a bet on prosperity in various aspects of life.
The Sultanate is moving at steady pace on the road of economic prosperity to continue what had been achieved during the last 5 decades of economic achievements in various sectors.
Economic plans target achieving varied and sustainable economy based on knowledge, innovation, and integrated and competitive frameworks that keep pace with the modern industrial developments. Here's a report by Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
The economic sector is at the forefront of priorities of the renewable Omani Renaissance, led by His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. May Allah protect him. The development plans and programs are based on Oman Vision 2040, aiming to achieve financial balance and sustainability of the country, improve the credit rating of the Sultanate, revitalize and diversify sources of revenue, support economic growth, encourage investments, promote the private sector, and develop the tourism sector and other sectors that generate employment opportunities for citizens.
Congratulations, everyone. Wishing you all the best and wishing Oman prosperity, peace, and continued privileged renaissance. The current COVID crisis has been an amazing kind of phenomena which has hit not just Oman, but the region, but the globe. And this is something that we've come to get accustomed for at least the temporary times. What we need to do now is to learn and understand, which we have already, to live with it. I think it's going to be at least another year or so before we will be having restricted growth and a restricted environment as we go about our business. Having said that, the future for Oman is in our hands. How we build on the current foundations, on the infrastructure, on the investments that we've made over the last 50 years is in the hands of our youth, who are our greatest asset.
To achieve these goals, the Sultanate this year took a set of study procedures, including restructuring of the state's administrative apparatus by cancelling and merging some ministries, units, and councils, and establishing others, such as the Ministry of Economy, the Public Authority for Special Economic Zones and Free Zones, issuing governorate and municipal affairs system, and establishing Oman Investment Authority.
Many steps have been taken in that order. The government will ease the environment for doing business in Oman, and it will encourage foreign investment, which will lead to economic growth. The government will increase its revenues, fiscal revenues, from its investment in the government companies, for example, and by introducing new taxes such as the VAT and the tax on revenues. Moreover, the government will control its expenses further. They will create a center for all the procurement, and they will review the operational cost of its institutions and ministries.
The government also launched a medium-term fiscal balance plan 2020-2024, which includes a set of initiatives such as rationalizing and raising the efficiency of expenditure and revitalizing the real estate market. In addition to that, the Sultanate has implemented a number of modern economic laws, including the Foreign Capital Investment Law, the Public-Private Partnership Law, the Commercial Companies Law, and the Bankruptcy Law. This modernization and development process is matched with large investment projects in various governorates around the Sultanate, most notably Duqm Refinery, Liwa Plastic Industrial Complex, and food security projects in the fields of fisheries, meat, poultry, dairy, and agricultural production. These investments are supported by many infrastructure projects, such as the dualization project of Adam Thamreit Road, Al-Sharqiyya Expressway project, besides the development and expansion of Khazain Economic Zone and the ports of Suhar, Duqm, Salalah, Shinas, As-Suwaiq, and Khasab.
Oman Fiscal Balance Plan, medium terms 2024-5, which will be started this year, is going to help Oman in balancing its fiscal deficit, which is, as we know, it is reached to more than 16% of GDP, and it's going to be up to 25% of the GDP if we are not going to implement this plan. I think the plan has so many good options for Oman to grow in the future.
Despite the economic challenges resulting from the drop in oil prices and the effects of COVID-19 pandemic, the Sultanate's GDP reached around 12.3 billion Oman riyals at the end of June 2020. The national economy is expected to witness further growth and prosperity next year, particularly with the start of implementing the 10th five-year plan as the first implementation plan of Oman's Vision 2040. Salih Bukhalfan al-Rahbi, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
Since the launch of the Sultanate's modern renaissance under the leadership of the late Sultan Qaboos, may the Almighty Allah have mercy on his soul, women had unlimited access to participation in economic and social development.
On the occasion of the 50th anniversary, we met with a number of women in North Al-Batina, speaking on the achievements on behalf of women in Oman. And here is the report as I was there earlier. Since the launch of the Sultanate's modern renaissance under the leadership of the late Sultan Qaboos, may the Almighty Allah have mercy on his soul, women have had unlimited access to participation in economic and social development. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, in his nation address in February 2020, reaffirmed that women will continue to enjoy their full rights as guaranteed by the law. Women will work alongside men in different fields and will serve their country and society. Indeed, the constructive roles, achievements and success stories of Omani women over the past 50 years of national action is well realized in each and every governorate in the Sultanate. On this occasion of the 50th National Day, we met with a number of women in the governorate of Suhar, where one of the major industrial estates is booming there. They had this to say.
Nations move forward through the contributions of individuals. In North Al-Batina, one can recognize the significant potential of women in promoting their own personality and the society. They participate actively in the proper management of their families and their social lives. Besides, they contribute to various social, economic, and cultural aspects. Obviously, women share equal status as men. They become leaders, they set up their own businesses, and they participate actively in decision making. Indeed, women shoulder a remarkable responsibility in the sustainable development.
Tremendous achievements have been accomplished under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos. May his soul rest in peace. And that achievement had been carried out by the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. I'm proud to be one of those who have started their education in Oman, and now I'm holding a PhD in leadership management of higher education institution. I'm proud now to be one of those who have started their nursing education in Oman, and now I'm having my PhD in higher education management, and now I'm leading my college branch in North Batna. Thanks to the leadership of our governments, many Omanis now are having their masters and their PhD.
An intensive focus to develop the industrial sector in Oman had been taken under the wise leadership of His Majesty Sultan Qaboos bin Said. May his soul rest in peace. This has continued under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, where in addition to oil and gas sector, several industries were encouraged to grow to foster Oman's 2040 strategy of economic diversification. A great example of this is the establishment of the daily growing free and industrial zones, such as the one that we have here in Sohar. I'm a proud Omani woman, an engineer working side by side with my brothers and sisters in a manufacturing industry, contributing to the development of our great country.
With its strategic location, economic resources and high density of population, the North Al Batna Governorate occupy the most important place in Oman's history. Abdullah bin Ahmed Al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Governorate of North Al Batna. Of course, those who spoke to us, the ladies, the first one was Asma, the second one was Fatima, and the third one was Ru'al. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. His Majesty the Sultan stresses in his royal speech on the occasion of the 50th National Day of the Renaissance that Oman was able to overcome challenges that it underwent during last decades and to build a modern Renaissance which its achievements have reached every family and every citizen wherever be on this dear land.
His Majesty affirms the completion of foundations of the state-owned institutions and law, preservation of national interests, review of legislative and auditing aspects, the development of the accountability tools, continuation of support for health, social and economic sectors, and establishment of social protection system.
His Majesty the Sultan stresses that the success of Oman Vision 2040 is the responsibility of all without exception and points out that the financial balance plan and its related measures will be enough to steer the national economy to the shores of safety and achieve growth rates during the upcoming 5 years.
His Majesty stresses that the Sultanate had laid the organizational foundation of local administration by establishing decentralized administrative structure for service and development performance in the governorates, and thanks citizens of Oman for what they are doing for the protection of achievements all over the last 50 years.
The Sultanate celebrates the 50th National Day of the Renaissance, rejoicing and feeling pride of its renewed renaissance under the leadership of His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq. And with that, we do conclude this news bulletin live from this news center of the Sultanate of Oman Television. We wish each and everyone a happy 50th anniversary. Dalia?
From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, we wish you a very happy National Day, and to you too, Abdullah.
Thank
Good
you,
night.
and to everyone, thank you very much.